Hello everyone, welcome to my review of A Crown of Swords by Robert Jordan. A Crown of Swords is actually the 7th book in the Wheel of Time series, which is it's actually a big epic fantasy series that the first book was published in 1990, The Eye of the World was. And Robert Jordan, I didn't find out until recently when I was watching this little video that Brandon Sanderson posted about the publisher or founder of Tor, and I'll put the link hopefully in the description. They talk about that Robert Jordan is actually his pen name, and his real name is James Rigney Jr., which I thought was really interesting. Going into this series, it's epic fantasy. I'll try to keep it somewhat brief because this book's like 747 pages long. It's quite large. It took me this amount of time to finish it. I'm sorry it took me so long. I just had some things going on, but I did really try to read it every day to get through it. And so the epic fantasy world, just to give you kind of an idea of if this is something you're interested in, it's basically like set like, your typical medieval world. You got, swords, shields, castles, whatnot. But what makes this unique is the magic system in this world is split. You got like the male half and the female half. But the male half has been tainted by the Dark One, or like the evil essence, devil, whatever way that helps you kind of visualize it. And you got the female half, and so anytime like a man can channel, which is just a fancy way of saying they can tap into the magic and use it, they go crazy over time, and then eventually they either kill themselves or kill others, or somebody stops them. And so based on that, since this is the 7th book, it's gonna be kind of hard to keep things spoiler free from everything before the 7th book, but I will try. But if it's like very important to the story, I have to mention it. But I will let you know when we get to the spoiler section of this book. And so going into this book, the prologue is actually like the first. It was almost 50 pages, which was quite long. Almost like the last one I read was also, I think it was over 50 pages. It was also quite long. But actually, before I jump into the story bits, since The Wheel of Time is an epic fantasy story, it has a huge cast of characters, and I will admit, after reading different series by different authors, this one is probably the largest cast of characters. Which the negative to this is, for like an average reader, is the struggling to remember who is who. Like it is tough. Yes, there's a glossary in the back of the book, but the glossary doesn't cover every character. So it's like you have all these minor characters, which Robert Jordan does a great job of putting them in the scene, but like I don't remember who's who sometimes, and I'm afraid to look things up because you will be spoiled. The series is 14 books and it's been done for a long time, and if you look things up, you are at risk of being spoiled, which I have been a few times, which bums me out, but whatever. So like our cast of characters is, I'm trying to be quick so it's not a long video, but we got like Rand, we have Piran, Matt, Nynaeve, Elaine, Egwene, and that's where I'm just going to stop it right now. There are more characters that get spotlights, but that's like the main crew, I would say, unless those diehard fans come in and be like, nah. But not every book gets all those characters the spotlight, which is normal. If you read Stormlight, they rotate who gets what, right? And so in this book, it is the ones that get the spotlight are Rand, Elaine, Nynaeve, and Matt. But Matt doesn't really get his till like, I'm thinking like 500 something pages in, and this is a 740 page book I read. So like I thought that was strange. Anyway, so going to the story real quick, just to give you an idea of these characters, like what are their objectives, their main goals, what's the point of the story. So Rand, because I haven't had to spoil it because we're in the 7th book, he's the Dragon Reborn. He's prophesized, recruit all these people to fight the Dark One in the last battle, blah, 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 all that stuff. And so he's in the middle of gathering his armies, and he's trying to find one of the Forsaken, which I pronounce fantasy names the best I can, or how I interpret it, so sorry if I say it wrong. Samael, he's one of the Forsaken, which are like the magic users, male, female, who are like immortal, that are like the ones directly under the evil one, the Dark One, and they're like really powerful. They can be beat by like a normal person if under certain circumstances. Well, I don't know if normal is the right word, but if you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, In this video, I'm not going to go over everything, so just a heads up, because there's like a lot of plot points, because it's like a almost 800 page book, right? So like that's Rand's objective. Matt's, Elaine, and Nini's objective are essentially the same thing. They're tasked by Egwene to find the Bowl of Winds, which is a ter'angreal, which in other words, it's a magic artifact. There's different kinds of magic artifacts depending on what kind of magic, if the female half or male half, if they can work with you, blah, 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 all that. And so they're tasked to find the Bowl of Winds, which, because at this time, the Dark One's like touch on the world has made it really hard to like grow crops. If I recall, it's due to it like preventing the rain because it's just hot all the time. So the Bowl of Winds can help change like the weather, or that's the plan. And so that's basically their mission. Now the other ones take like a backseat, like Perrin's in it just a small handful of times, and he's just backseat gone out of the story. And so that's basically for the non-spoilers. So now I'm going into the spoiler section. So in the spoiler section, well, so I think it'll be easier to approach it by character. So we'll start with Rand here. So Rand does achieve what he wanted to. He basically found Samael, and I'm doing a super abridged version. They chase each other to Shayla Ghul, all that fun stuff, and he kills or defeats Samael, which, you know, shooting the Bellfire magic hits the thing, the rocks fall or whatever. I don't think he's dead, but that's how they made it look to believe he's dead. And then he gets crowned, or he receives like a crown of swords. And so he's just basically showing he keeps gathering more people on his side. Now going to the Matt, Elaine, Egwene story. Sorry, not Egwene. Matt, Elaine, and Nini's story. And the reason Matt's there because he has this magic luck power thing to help maybe find where the Bowl of Winds are at. And so my cat's over there playing on my curtains apparently. Anyway, so they help, basically talking to the locals there. They meet this magic circle of women called the Circle, who are like failed Aes Sedai, where they try to recruit people who got kicked out of the White Tower. And they help locate the Bowl of Winds. There's an epic fight scene near the end, and they meet this new villain creature thing. I believe it's called a golem. And there's like 8 of them in existence, but this is only one, and Matt just knows about it. I believe it's from when he received all that like was it like history of all the different fighters and stuff from like way back books ago that no one really knows about. And so he just like regurgitates stuff from in his mind from way in the past that people wouldn't know about. And he goes, oh, that's a golem, blah, 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 blah. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And so he basically is like a creature, looks human, that is immune to the female half of magic. I don't know if he's immune to male half. If they said it, I just missed it. But that was interesting. And they fight against the Blackajaw. Just to mention, in the White Tower, there's like the different colors. And the black one was myth to be all, it's just not real, but it's just a group of women that follow the Forsaken one, the dark one. And so they fight them, they defeat them, they get the Bowl of Winds. And that's basically their whole plot. But we do see like Elaine's growth as a leader, because she's the princess to the Queen of Andor, and so she's basically the next one in line. And through this book, we see her taking a lot of leadership roles. You know, for pushing for this to find the Bowl of Winds, talking to the Aes Sedai of that city, Ebador, put it right here. Recruit them, because a lot of them just don't believe that they're Aes Sedai, because Egwene was the Armelin, the other Armelin was like, which is Egwene at this time of the story, is like, you're Aes Sedai, go do this thing. And people are like, you're not Aes Sedai, no way. And so she convinces them to join her, they convince the Circle to join her, and so that was a whole growth process. Nynaeve basically gets an interesting plot with when Lane comes back in the story, and they get married. I thought that was really cool. I felt bad for poor Matt. For those who've read the book, you understand, he had a lot of really, I won't really touch on it because it gets sensitive. People get sensitive and that kind of stuff in these videos. Let's just say his relationship with the Queen Queen Thailand of that city they're in, searching for the Bowl of Winds. If you're curious, I guess you could just look it up. But it was like a very, like, he cried in one scene. I felt really bad for him. It's a pretty sensitive topic for some people. And so that happened. And so basically, just to wrap it up, when I do my videos, I do them like out of 5 stars. So I do like 1's poor, 2 is below average, 3 is average, 4 is above average, and 5 is excellent. And so I really just gave this book a 2.5. I thought it was below average. My main problem with it was I felt like we really just dragged on and on and on. I felt like we weren't really making progress. I kept thinking to myself, what are we even doing here? Because I kept forgetting, oh yeah, we got to find the Bowl of Winds. Or what is Rand doing? Like a lot of time I was like, I don't know what Rand was doing. It felt like we just did a whole bunch of nothing, and I was just reading to read. And again, I'm not a big fan of Robert Jordan's writing style with over describing things, which there was a funny video. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video, but if I didn't, then I'll put a link to it. That kind of pokes fun at his writing style. And I'm eager to see how Brandon Sanderson's style comes into play, because he finished the series, because unfortunately Robert Jordan did pass away before finishing the series. And so Sanderson picked it up, finished it. So I'm curious, like, if he's going to try to write his own way, or is he going to try to mimic Jordan's style? Like, I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about it. But I'm kind of eager to see how that goes. But yeah, I just think it was like overly descriptive. I felt like the pacing of the characters just took too long. Felt like there was times I was just reading just to read. I wasn't really having super fun. But people do say it does get a lot better after this. And I like the characters just enough to keep going, because I'm curious to see like where they go. I'm just really not a fan of that writing style. But the story itself prior to this one was pretty, it's been pretty okay. My favorite is still the second book, The Great Hunt. I really liked The Great Hunt. It was good. And so just letting you know, I'll just take care of that. I will post like a little clip here to show my next, my new reset TBR card. I'm really excited to get into that. So that's just showing you that order is not like set in stone. Like I might move things around. If it might stay the same for the most part. But yeah, that's what I'm be reading next, or my reading order. I've already actually read the Energy Bus like prior to recording this video. So I'm 1 book down, I'm on the next one on that stack. If you notice in the video that I put the next Wheel of Time book kind of like a little past the middle, I'm just, I like to take a break between it because of how exhausting I feel like it takes me just to get through one Wheel of Time book, and I really want to try to get into other authors. I know some people have recommended me books. I'm sorry if it's not on the cart just yet. I am like listening to when people say, hey, I recommend this book, you should try it out. I mean, I'll try it out. Like I reorganize my shelf here. I'll try to put it up there. Hopefully you see and go, hey, I see it. So I'll try to get to them, but I can't promise anything. So what I'm doing now is I'm having the cart mix with authors I have read, I haven't read, new books. I have like 1 book I'm rereading I haven't read since high school. You can probably tell which one that is just by how it looks, because it's still the same book. But yeah, I just want to say thanks for checking this out. I hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye.